I have these ballpoint ink pens. Again, I wanted to loosen up my hands. It's been a while since I drew something. It's been a month according to the page here. This is January. So not the best line work I've ever done, but I just wanted to loosen myself up and not erase anything. And then the next pages that you'll see are of the lovely Miss Allison Moon on Instagram, and I think you can find her on YouTube as well. I think she's so beautiful and I wanted to draw her, but to be honest, I did not do any of these drawings justice because I was in a phase where I just could not seem to find a sketching flow and everything felt so daunting and I couldn't figure out what to shade, what to darken, and this is the end result that I got, which to be honest, I quite like. It's cute, but I was just so frustrated with how indeliberate everything was. Everything felt like I was just winging it. I wanted to be more thoughtful about the lines that I made with my sketches. Oh, and the previous page here, I wanted to draw a background landscape, so I was copying this picture from I think Pinterest or Tumblr. Suddenly realized that I have a very lack of knowledge in perspective. I only had like one class, just one lesson in the general art class. So I'll put a pin on that, and I'm definitely gonna learn perspective another time, but not right now. Another blue ballpoint ink pen drawing that I've done, except this time I'm a little more proud of this one. This is the first time that I actually drew everything in pen without a pencil outline, and it turned out pretty decent. It's still very dark in contrast, but it was the first one that I made that I was very proud of, basically. However, the atrocity of my hands, I struggle so much with hands, so I just thought, okay, it's time. I've drawn many portraits. It's time to practice my hands. So this is what I did on this next page right here, trying to understand how to draw hands. More hand studies, which, oh my god, atrocious. I can't. It's not too bad, but it's also not very good either. But I'll get there. It's okay. I've also gotten into tarot card readings as well to help me with my creative journey. So I've also been writing down quotes from there to kind of keep me going. Ducks as well. Does anybody else just hold the cup not by the handle? And even though it's there, I don't know, it's so comforting to just hold it like this. So now we've entered the page where I've kind of got a grasp of the illustration style that I like for myself. Really funny story about the first illustration here. My mom had Bridgerton in the background. She was obsessed with Bridgerton at the time, and I didn't really care for it, but I wanted to hang out with my mom and I also wanted to draw, so I just thought, you know, it's okay, just leave it in the background. And the second season was a lot better, it was a lot more intriguing, and I couldn't help but kind of peek upwards while I kept drawing. You cannot deny the aesthetics that they have. It's just so inspiring. I was literally on a painting drawing roll here. And if you look closely, you can kind of see who I was inspired by when I was choosing the color palettes and the way this character looked. I also really love this quote underneath too. It's from Suga from BTS. Also not a fan, but also not a hater. I just don't really listen to them too much, but I can't deny their drive and their music is really catchy. If you're enjoying yourself, you will feel driven. And when you're driven, you will notice yourself naturally improving. Just enjoy yourself. Such an encouraging message, since I always feel like I have to improve, and it's just not fun anymore. Art is supposed to be fun, but am I supposed to have fun when I'm working? But the great thing about the creative process is that if you enjoy yourself, you're just gonna keep naturally doing it and you're gonna naturally improve without thinking about it. So it's just a nice reminder for me, especially since I've been kind of having all these art blocks and yucky drawings. And this is another painting that I'm really proud of. I actually initially drew this girl. It just turned out so atrocious. And again, I was so scared of redrawing this because I really liked how I looked the first time and I basically ruined this. And I thought, no, we're gonna start over and we're gonna see what happens. And this is the way it turned out. So again, another lesson for me that it's okay to redraw things and that there's things that I'll miss the first time and I actually love it a lot better than the first sketch that I made. So I'm very happy with this. And ever since then, I've been getting a groove on what kind of style I've been liking when I'm doing my sketches. And this is a sketch of my beautiful friend. She is an aesthetic nurse. We actually went to a post-baccalaureate or like a master's finish program together, and I actually really like how this turned out. One of my favorite things to do nowadays is having really soft lines and then darkening where joints or clothings touch. And that's like my favorite thing to do at the moment. And this is one of the illustrations that I've done after taking Mochi Panko's domestic class. I highly recommend taking that online course. It's so inspiring. I also really love Mochi Panko's art as well. And I learned a lot of great tips. And I've actually started to enjoy illustrating and drawing. This is like literally my little feeble attempt to try drawing a little bit of backgrounds. Just being able to draw little details on her clothes and her mug and her earrings is such a joy. I love it so much. More hand studies because I've struggled with hands still, but it is a process. More sketches because I was starting to get a little rusty again. About a couple months have passed since then. And oh, I really love this sketchbook spread. It's one of my favorites, I would say. A little bit more deliberate with my lines and the shading, and I just love it so much. I think I drew this in October. Yes, I drew this a couple days before Halloween, and I had a really great time with it. Because it was autumn, I drew Wednesday, of course, iconic. But what I really liked about drawing this was the way I omitted and added shadows and details. Like for example, her face, I didn't add as much shading to it because there's a lot of shading in her hair. So I wanted her face to pop out. So that's something that I'm trying to implement and not get too bogged down in the details of everything. And I also wanted to try drawing children just because they have different facial features and they're just so cute. But it's a struggle right now. So that's something for another day. And this was a sketch that I made a video of the process of sketching the hair. I felt very overwhelmed, and one of the things I wanted to focus on was being more deliberate with shading hair. So I had a really great time doing that. I wasn't very overwhelmed with finishing it. I just wanted to focus on one aspect, and I was able to be productive about it. So if you'd like to check out the video to also play in your background while you study, the link is up in the card in the description also. And I think that's the end of my sketchbook. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching this tour. I hope you enjoyed the little memories and stories that I've kept in this little book. Let me know if you had like a favorite page or a quote, or if you keep a commonplace or sketchbook. What do you usually like to put in your books? I hope that I encouraged you to record all of the lovely and beautiful things in your life, no matter how mundane they are. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Have a lovely day. Bye.